Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Archer Live, and in today's video I'm going to showcase the 1-down impact build in Payday 2. It's basically an upgrade of my very first build, the Mayhem Impact Build, so that it's 1-down viable and it has all the skills and weapons to accommodate. Basically, I just wanted to take this build and upgrade it because since the Most Wanted DLCs come out, and with the new difficulties Mayhem and 1-down coming into the game, I've found myself to be a lot better at higher difficulties. And as such, I've conquered Mayhem, conquered Deathwish, as a lot of you know, and I'm still trying to finish all the heists on 1-down. So messing around with new builds on 1-down is not something that's particularly easy to get builds that work very well, but I thought I'd go back to basics here and upgrade this and make this a really good 1-down build, and it's worked pretty well. So as always, I'll take you through the skills, and then after that my loadout, and then we'll get into some gameplay and I'll share my thoughts on the build. First off, let's look at the skills. Okay, so as always, we're going to start off in the Mastermind skill tree, and what's become a staple of 1-down builds, we're going to be getting Basic Combat Medic, acing Quick Fix, acing Combat Doctor, and then acing Inspire. The usual medical skills, as well as Inspire, being able to revive teammates from a distance, is essential for 1-down. Moving on to Controller, we got Basic Forced Friendship, Ace Joker, and got Basic Partners in Crime. Now the simple thing here is this is leftover points. This is me trying to get at least one Joker because one is better than none. You guys know I like to have both Jokers if possible, but with the build that I've gone for here, there just isn't enough skill points to get 2 Jokers, but what's to say there isn't any point in having just one on its own. So with that in mind, I've had the Convert perk and I've put a couple of extra buffs to the Joker. Just not able to get 2 basically, and if I have more points that's where I put them, but unfortunately I don't have enough, so we've got 1 Joker. It's always handy to have at least 1 for backup. 2 would be better, but you know, maybe you guys might reassign your points and find a way for it to work, but personally I like my points where they are and I'm not going to mess around with them. If we move on to the Technician, we're looking at the Oppressor subtree, and we ace Steady Grip, ace Surefire, ace Body Expertise, and got Basic Lock and Load. Those of you who've seen the Mayhem Impact build will see a lot of similarity here because we're going for Body Expertise as the main top perk. And for those of you who haven't seen the last build, we're just going to recap. That basically means that all the extra damage that you get for a headshot is also applied to the body. So for instance, if you shoot a headshot, and I think it's either double or triple damage, something like that, on an enemy, basically that headshot multiplier is just anywhere on the body. So you can still hit the head, but it now will do as much damage as anywhere else in the body because the whole damage has been upgraded. Basically, it allows you to chew through enemies faster, and you don't have to waste time aiming for the head. You can just basically plow through people, and this has come especially useful with bulldozers. As most of you will know, the Mayhem Impact build, I renamed it the anti-bulldozer build, or at least I nicknamed it that, because whenever there was a bulldozer, I pulled out my SMG secondary, and I could kill a bulldozer in a couple of seconds with a few bullets to the chest. It's been upgraded for this. I'll talk a bit about that a little bit later when I go to weapons, but same skills, same skills as there were before. Not really much has changed, and that's basically just a staple of the Impact build, and it's just upgraded to 1-down. Moving on to the Ghost subtree, we got Ace Duck and Cover, Ace Parkour, Ace Inner Pocket, and Basic Sneaky. Usual dodge perks because as it's 1-down, we're going to go for a dodge build. Not really a lot else we can do about that. I'm still trying to think of how an armor build could work for 1-down, but as for right now, there's nothing I can offer at the minute. In the Silent Killer subtree, we got Basic Second Wind, Basic Optical Illusions, Basic Low Blow, and then Ace the Professional and Ace Specialized Killing. Mainly for the secondary here because the primary, as you'll see, is not suppressed. It's making a habit of that, like the shotgun build video. But it's just making that secondary as accurate and as highly damaged as we can make it. And occasionally, I thought, well, why not put crits into it? Why did I say occasionally? That's not the right word. Additionally, sorry, I thought, why not put crits into it? And I did. So I've got Basic Low Blow because I've got fairly low detection risk. I think, what's it at? It's at 16. So we're getting about half of the critical hit chance. So it's about 15% chance of a critical hit while playing. But just like with the Jokers, having 1 instead of none, having 15% chance is better than having none at all. So that's the logic there. Of course, you could argue, on the contrary, those 3 points might be better invested over with the Joker skills. I wouldn't argue with you, but really you'd have to have more than 3 points to make it better what I have here, honestly. I suppose you could get rid of Joker and then, like the Ace version, put the 3 points in and Ace Partners in Crime, but honestly, I just think the points work well as they are, and there's not enough points from Low Blow to put elsewhere. And then the usual extra damage from Specialized Killing and the extra, the reduced targeting chance with Optical Illusions, just really useful things for 1-down. Moving on to Fugitive, we ace 9 lives and ace Swan Song as usual, and if I have to say once more about how this is the obvious thing for LAR builds for me, and then I need to just stop making builds. I might just stop going to the fugitive skill tree. No, I won't do that. I'll at least show you what the points are. I'm rambling. It's been a couple of weeks since I've recorded something. I've been on holiday and my brain is frazzled. There you go. But that covers all the skills, and basically when we're looking at it here, we've lost the ammo. That's the thing to keep in mind here with this build. We've replaced it with the medic skills, and now it's 1 down viable because you've also got jokers, and my weapons have slightly changed. We'll go into that in a second. For what we're doing, other than that, we've got the rogue perk deck, throwing axe throwable, electrical brass knuckles melee, 2-piece suit, and 2 doctor bags. Now, let's start with the secondary because it's more of the same of what we had before. We're sticking with the CR805B submachine gun. As I said last time, it is a biker heist DLC item, so if you want to upgrade, go for a non-DLC, should I say, go for the Krinkov, or alternatively go for the Swedish K submachine gun. Both of them are of the same high damage category of SMGs, and both have pretty similar stats. It's just I prefer this gun out of the 3 of them more for cosmetics, and I think marginally for stats, but if you put the right attachments on, you'll probably see quite similar stats to what I have. Anyway, on the CR805B, we're going to be picking up the following attachments once the weapons system loads up. We're going to be putting on the short barrel. We're going to be putting on the bigger the better suppressor, a stability boost, accuracy boost, LED combo, vintage mag, and no sights because the iron sights just work well. Someone said that to me recently about why I don't put sights on guns, and honestly, I just find it easier to go with iron sights. I feel like having a sight kind of restricts my movement. It sounds stupid, but personally it's just the way I roll, so if anyone has a problem with that, go for it, put your own sights on. That's entirely up to you, but if you're going to, obviously keep in mind that having a sight will reduce your concealment, so, you know, me preferring iron sights actually has a benefit. Right, looking at the primary, now this is where we've gone a little bit, and I've actually changed this since my last recording because I recorded this bit video already, and the footage unfortunately corrupted, but since then we've had a little change of primary. I would have said in the last recording to use the light crossbow, but having gone into the gameplay and tested things out, as well as playing with someone else who said he was using a heavy crossbow and 1 down, I basically had a look at it and tested it out and found out that the heavy crossbow, with body expertise aced, 1 shot to bulldozer on 1 down. And I can't think of a better way to kill a bulldozer than that, honestly, because the bulldozers on 1 down can be horrific. If you stay in the firing line of one of those for more than a couple of seconds, you're dead. And a whole team could be wiped out by one of them if you really aren't quick enough. So what we're gone for here is simply a heavy crossbow with a team boost, just to boost money and XP. I suppose if you want to, you could put total ammo on, but 2 bolts probably doesn't really make much difference. Obviously no need for an accuracy or stability boost. Or the other alternative is you could put a concealment boost on. Perhaps if I'd have had one of those in stock, I might have put that on. And that probably would reduce my detection risk to 15. But either way, heavy crossbow is where we're going for high damage output. It's just a little bit annoying because the rate of fire is just almost half as much as the light crossbow. A little bit more than half. So it can be annoying trying to reload it. But honestly, the power that it packs, killing enemies is really easy. If you don't kill a special with 1 shot, it'll be dead in 2, and there's no kind of argument there. I find usually that maybe like medics, I think, and possibly tasers, but mainly medics, I've noticed take 2 shots, whereas a bulldozer takes 1, which I find quite funny because it kind of defeats the object of the bulldozer. But either way, medics is something I keep an eye out for, but they're the weapons we're picking up. So that covers everything in the loadout. I got through it a lot quicker than I did in the last recording, I must say. But other than that, let's get in some gameplay. I'll talk about the build a little bit more, and I'll share with you some thoughts on how I've implemented it. The 1 down impact build. Now with all the builds I've done up to this point in the whole Payday 2 playlist, I figured it was good to go back to my basics and go back to my original builds and upgrade it for 1 down, considering, you know, as I've said, I've improved on my kind of difficulty levels and stuff in Payday. And I'm really happy to have been able to make this build 1 down viable, because for a while I was wondering whether or not I'd actually manage it. There are a few changes, as you'll have seen in the skills. Primarily, we don't have ammo anymore, we have medic bags. As I always say on 1 down, I think personally the best way to go about having deployables is to have 3 people with maxed out doctor bags and then 1 person with maxed out ammo. It's probably the best kind of survivability setting you can have with the team, because if you have too few medic bags, obviously you'll probably find a lot of you in custody way too quickly, and you probably won't be able to revive yourselves very much. If you have too many doctor bags, you're sacrificing the amount of ammo you have, and if you can't put ammo into the heist by assets or pre-planning, you're basically going to not be able to fire any bullets, and then the extra meds will do you no good because you won't be able to defend yourself. So it's all about achieving that balance in 1 down, and that's why I kind of go for that. So what I would say is, as always, even though you're picking up this build, try and make sure somebody else can bring what you don't. So try and have someone who can bring ammo. If you really want to, you could stick with more of the Mayhem Impact Build thing and just basically transfer the points I have in the Mastermind Medic subtree into the Enforcer Ammo Specialist subtree. I think the points will pretty much transfer 1 for 1. I'm not quite sure, I haven't checked it up, but reasonably so. You could probably max out the ammo bags with these and maybe get fully loaded, at least basic if not aced. So that's something to consider. Maybe somebody could try that and let me know if you think that works. But personally, just for the sake of convenience and for the sake of my actual build, I use medic bags because it's one down. And also for the gameplay, I'd rather take medic bags with me because I haven't recorded it yet. But from what I usually find, there's never a full lobby of people on one down. It's very difficult for me to get people who want to do it at the time. So I'll probably stick with medic bags. That's just how I do it. A few things I want to talk about. First off, the jokers. As I've said before, I really like having two. And I really would like to kind of mess around with the skill points and try and find a way for it to work. Perhaps getting rid of the professional ace and getting rid of basic low blow. You could put the skill points into the joker subtree. And, you know, maybe get some people from there, some two jokers with fully upgraded skills. But the one that I've got does seem to have reasonably good health and damage output. Does die a little bit easier than normal jokers, but all that means is just getting a few more hostages. But if you have the electrical brass knuckles, you can quite easily get one by just meleeing an enemy and forcing him to surrender. So really it just means you have to do that a little bit more often, unless you're a lazy gamer, which I would assume most of you aren't. You can do that with ease. So honestly, the extra skill points there, they would be handy, but they don't really go amiss. I don't really kind of blame, I'm not really bothered about it, honestly. And then the second thing I want to talk about is low blow basic. Now, obviously, again, you could have the same argument the other way around. Take the joker points, put them into low blow aced, and get all of the critical hit chance that I want. And yeah, you could say that is a decent suggestion to make, but I'm kind of trying to spread my assets here and kind of get, so I've got all the different perks, even if it's not fully achieved or aced, but get them all and get them all having an effect on my gameplay in some way, or shape or form. I mentioned earlier to you that medics are usually 2 shots, whereas bulldozers are 1. That 15% chance means that possibly a medic could be killed with 1 shot. I asked somebody replied in the comments to the 1 down shotgun build, and they said that the crits do triple damage. I think I'm quoting him right. It's been a while since he commented it. But yeah, so if it's triple damage, then if it only takes 2 shots normally to kill a medic, then you'll get it done in 1 quite easily. And it doesn't take Brain of Britain to work that one out. But yeah, other than that, honestly, there's not a lot of kind of downsides to this build. There's the usual challenges you face with 1 down. You know, obviously only having 2 lives with 9 lives ace, because if you run 1 down without that, you're being stupid. But being able to face it and, you know, kind of get over it, a lot of it is about skill. It's about planning, it's about skill, it's about tactics, it's about knowing what to do in the heist, quite simply. I'm thinking of doing like an overall guide video to both stealth and loud heists. I might do that coming up in the future, but just knowing what you're doing in 1 down can make a hell of a difference. Your build can only take you so far. If you can't aim your guns, or if you don't know where you're going, then the build isn't going to serve you very well. And I think some people who moan about certain builds not working, usually it's something to do with them rather than the actual build. Because usually, at least from my experience, when people put builds up, they're tried, they're tested, and people know that they work. And that's what I try to achieve with this build and with all my builds on this channel. I make sure I try and test them and make sure they are viable for what I say they are. Because the last thing I would want to do is say a build is good for something and it's complete rubbish and I'm just lying or clickbaiting or exaggerating, because that isn't what I want to do. I want to make sure that what I put out is completely honest and true. So if anyone has any problems with it, it might just be down to practice, it might be down to the map, or sadly it could just be down to bad luck. You could just get swarmed with specials that you aren't expecting, and even the best builds can't always hold up against that kind of thing. I've found it myself and other people find it all the time, so keep it in mind. There's not always an easy way to get around something in one of these 1 down heists. But as for me, I still have a few challenging heists to do on 1 down, namely the Bomb Forest and Goat Simulator. Still haven't tried either of them, kind of a little bit scared of doing it because it's probably going to cause me unknown amounts of stress because I can't stand either of the heists for loud. To do them on 1 down, it's going to be quite interesting, considering Goat Simulator I haven't even done on Death Wish. Well, I mean, saying that, I did it on Death Wish, but I didn't get the achievement. That's another story, but basically there was some kind of glitch. I finished it, but didn't get the achievement. And I only have 2 achievements left for the game, so I really, really want to get that achievement. So I'm going to have to do it again, and I'm going to have to put myself through that torture, but I'll do that another point. Might use this build, to be honest. I haven't tried it on Goat Simulator, but it might work out quite well, who knows. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. That sums up this build video. Sorry it's been a little bit since Payday 2, as I said earlier. I have been on holiday for a couple of weeks, so I've been trying to make ends meet with uploads. I said in the thank you for 3 years video that I was working on Life is Strange, and hot off the press as I'm recording this, that upload has messed up. If you followed me on Twitter, you'll have seen I tweeted it out. It was in the 90%, and it's taken a hell of a long time to upload because it was a huge file. My upload speed isn't remarkable, I have to be honest. Basically, it got to 90%, and YouTube did something I've never seen in 3 years and went, there was an unknown network error. And lo and behold, when I tried to carry on the upload, it went back down to 0%, so I honestly give up. I really don't know whether I'm going to upload Life is Strange. I might do it later, but honestly, I'm going to keep it as a backup upload. So if anyone's waiting to see that, I am sorry. I don't know whether anyone really is waiting to see it, but I do apologise. I had a really good time recording it, and I do plan to get it up, but right now it's just not a concern. I start university next week, so honestly, I just need to get my head down and get myself sorted for that, get myself inducted and know where I stand from there. When I've got my timetable and I know how things work and I can assign recording days, hopefully when I'm not too swollen with homework, because a lot of it is study out of university, but hey ho, we'll just see what I can do. But honestly, other than that, I'm going to keep to Payday stuff and a few things here and there. I probably won't upload the other COD World War II video that I have left over unless I don't have any other videos ready, because that wasn't exactly well received. So, well, I mean, barely anyone clicked on it. So, I'm just trying to work on things. But Payday 2, as always, will be the main thing. And I'm also thinking of doing some videos with subscribers soon. More details on that to come when I've managed to sort out my timetable. But I'm thinking of having possibly one day coming up soon in the next few weeks where I just have a straight up day of recording with subs and just going through with different people. Because I said I wanted to do sub matches, and Payday 2 seems like the appropriate game to do it now. So if you have Payday 2, keep an eye out, keep an eye on my videos, and also follow me on Twitter if you don't already. I'm not going to message on Xbox anymore because you can't do messages to all friends. They're just kind of a bit of a mess up now. And you can only make group chats of about 30 people. And if I want to message people who I've got added, who are like subscribers, because if somebody messaged me, I tend to add them, I'd have to do about 5 or 6 group chats, and that's just too much effort, I have to be honest. So follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep people updated on there. But other than that, I'll mention it in my videos as well. So keep an eye on both. But other than that, I've spent more time rambling than I have talking about the actual gameplay. But there you go, you've at least been able to see a bit of the heist in play. So thank you all very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. It's always very much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new for more Payday 2 stuff and other things here and there, because I really still am wandering through life not knowing what I'm doing. But aren't we all? So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy.